Hello, I'm Adam Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support them. The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a fantastic day to dive deep into the absolute madness that just unfolded on our screens. Grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's get right into the thick of it, because we have so much to unpack together. I cannot breathe. I am literally sitting here in the dark, typing furiously at 2 a.m. because I desperately need to get this out of my system before my head explodes. Can we talk about this episode? I mean, I've been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen some wild, off-the-wall twists. But this is the kind of soap opera gold that keeps us all completely hooked. I am half celebrating and half complaining right now because my emotions are completely all over the place. I know some people are loving the slow burn of this storyline, but personally, I was getting so frustrated with the pacing. But tonight paid off in spades. So, let's jump right into it. Diane Jenkins Abbott. I can't believe they actually did that. We all knew the amnesia was fake. Am I the only one who's been screaming at the television every single time Matt Clark batted his innocent little eyes at the Newman Ranch? But to see it confirmed in such a terrifying, high-stakes way? Absolute perfection. Let's set the scene because the cinematography and the tension were just chef's kiss. Diane has been locked in that creepy, barred room for weeks. We've watched her go from confused to defensive to armed with a literal letter opener staring at those books by Dr. Alan Laurent. And tonight, she finally gets a break. She manages to slip out of her cell. She's tiptoeing through this dark, dusty, unfamiliar house, trying to find an exit. You can practically hear her heart beating through the screen. She hears a noise, panics, and dives behind these heavy velvet curtains. And then, the door opens. I was holding my breath. I thought it was going to be that creepy doctor, Lawrence Markham, coming to gaslight her some more. I thought maybe, just maybe, it would be Jack finally kicking down the door to save his wife. But no, because walking into that room, standing perfectly straight, with absolutely zero confusion in his eyes and a voice as sharp as a knife, is Matt Clark. Yes, Matt freaking Clark. I jumped off my couch. He is fully lucid. The amnesia is 100% fake. And he is not alone. He is dragging Patty Williams into the room, and he is absolutely berating her. He is tearing into her with this vicious, calculated anger that proves he hasn't forgotten a single thing about who he is or how to destroy people. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up to what they were actually saying, because the dialogue here was everything. Matt is screaming at Patty because Tracy Abbott caught her at the park cafe. Remember earlier in the week when Queen Tracy saw Patty handing over that massive envelope of cash to Dr. Markham? Matt knows about it. He is furious that Patty was sloppy enough to let Tracy get suspicious. And as Diane is standing there behind the curtain, clutching that letter opener, her eyes are just wide with pure, unadulterated horror. Because the pieces are finally clicking together for her. And for us. Matt Clark is the mastermind. He is the one pulling the strings. He isn't just some random villain targeting the Newmans in Las Vegas. He is actively controlling Dr. Markham. He is using Patty Williams as his pathetic little pawn to execute this massive, twisted blackmail scheme against Jack. I mean, let's just look at the sick reality of what Matt is actually doing here. He knows Patty is completely, delusionally obsessed with Jack. He knows she has a history of violence and manipulation, so he weaponizes her. He sets it up so Patty can show Jack that staged, horrifying photo of Diane unconscious in a white padded cell. He sets it up so Patty can demand that Jack sleep with her, recreate their magic on the yacht in exchange for Diane's location. Let's talk about the yacht for a second. Remember when Jack and Patty were on that yacht? Diane caught them in bed together. That trauma is what started this whole current spiral for the Abbotts. Matt is so sick that he specifically chose to use that exact trauma to break Jack and Diane apart forever. He wants Jack to violate his marriage vows in the exact same way that broke Diane's heart the first time. It is psychological warfare of the highest degree. Matt is orchestrating the entire thing just to watch the Abbott family implode from the inside out. But the absolute best part of this entire reveal? The sheer, delicious irony of Victor Newman? Oh my God. Victor. Victor thinks he is a god who can tame anyone. He literally moved Matt Clark onto the Newman Ranch. He ordered Adam to babysit him. Victor is sitting in his leather chair, stroking his mustache, thinking he has neutralized the threat by keeping his enemies closer. He thinks Matt is this broken, amnesiac shell of a man that he can use to spy on Kane Ashby. And the whole time, Matt is sneaking out and running a hostage ring. I am laughing, just thinking about how furious Victor is going to be when he finds out he has been harboring the very man who is torturing the Abbotts. And Nick, remember when Nick was literally trying to trigger Matt's memories just so he could punch him with a clear conscience? Nick is surviving a fentanyl overdose, agonizing over this guy, and Matt is out here playing 4D chess with Patty Williams. It's brilliant. It's infuriating, but it's brilliant. Okay, back to the point. Back to Diane behind that curtain. Susan Walters acted her heart out in the scene. You could see the exact moment the terror shifted into determination. Diane knows that if she gets caught right now, Matt will probably kill her. He has nothing to lose. He's already faking his own mental state. He could easily make her disappear permanently. But she also knows that she holds the most explosive secret in Genoa City right now. She knows that the amnesiac living at the Newman Ranch is the devil himself. She knows she has to get a message to Jack. But how? She is trapped in a house with a sociopath and a delusional stalker. If she makes one wrong move, the curtain shifts. She sneezes. She breathes too loud. It's over. I was literally biting my nails. And we need to talk about the doctor, Lawrence Markham of it all. Because if Matt is the mastermind, who the hell is Markham? The timeline notes and the spoilers have been heavily hinting that Markham might actually be Martin Laurent in disguise. Patty has a history of using plastic surgery to steal identities. Remember the whole Emily Peterson nightmare? What if Patty helped Martin alter his face to become Dr. Markham? All under Matt's direction? If this is true, do you know what this means? I am practically vibrating with excitement. It means Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman are going to be dragged right back into this nightmare. Those two women were traumatized, literally trauma bonded, when Martin locked them in that clinic. They barely escaped with their lives. If Martin is back, and he's working for Matt Clark, and he's holding Diane hostage, oh my God. I know Phyllis and Diane hate each other. I know they have spent decades trying to destroy each other. But Phyllis knows what it's like to be locked in a room by Martin Laurent. Will she actually team up with Sharon to save her worst enemy? Yes, because Phyllis hates being played more than she hates Diane. And think about Sharon for a second. Sharon is already living in sheer terror because Matt is at the ranch. Victor completely dismissed her trauma and forced this monster into her orbit. When she finds out Matt was slipping away to run a torture dungeon for Diane, Sharon is going to snap. She is going to have the ultimate I told you so moment, but it won't even feel good because the reality of Matt's evil is just too dark. I am calling it right now. We are getting a Phyllis, Sharon, and Diane team up, and it is going to be iconic. But right now, Diane is alone. She is standing behind that curtain, listening to Matt verbally destroy Patty. He is calling Patty a pathetic, sloppy idiot. And honestly, he's not wrong. Patty thought she was going to get Jack back. She thought she was going to be the hero of her own sick romance novel. But Matt is just using her. The second he gets what he wants, the total destruction of the Abbott family, he is going to throw Patty under the bus. He's going to let her take the fall for kidnapping Diane, and he's going to walk away whistling a tune, claiming his amnesia the whole time. It's a perfect plan. It really is. Unless Diane stops him. I am so scared for her. I know Diane isn't exactly a saint. We all know her history. She faked her own death. She manipulated everyone. She has caused so much pain. But nobody deserves to be locked in a cage, gaslit by a fake doctor, and used as a pawn by Matt Clark. And Jack. Poor Jack is out there, desperate, terrified, actually considering sleeping with Patty just to save his wife. The psychological torture Matt is inflicting on this family is unparalleled. Am I the only one who thinks Kyle is going to do something stupid when he finds out? Kyle has been blindly defending his mother's work ethic to Detective Burrow, completely unaware that she's literally fighting for her life in a dusty living room. When Kyle realizes Matt Clark did this, he is going to march right up to the Newman Ranch and start a war. So what happens next? The episode ended right as Matt turned his head toward the curtain. Did he see her? Did he hear her? They can't just leave us on a cliffhanger like that. I am going to lose my mind waiting for the next episode. I just can't get over the acting, The writing, the pure soapiness of it all. This is why I have been watching for years. They drag you through the mud with these slow-paced storylines. They make you suffer through Victor's endless monologues, and then bam, they hit you with a reveal that completely flips the board. Matt Clark is awake. The amnesia is a lie. The Abbotts are in the crosshairs. And Diane Jenkins Abbott is the only one who knows the truth. I need to know what you guys think. Are you as freaked out as I am? Do you think Diane is going to make it out of that room? Or is Matt going to catch her? Is Patty going to realize she's being played and turn on Matt? Or is she too far gone in her obsession with Jack? And seriously, when is Victor going to realize he has a viper living in his guest house? Drop your theories in the comments. I am going to be up all night reading them because there is no way I am getting any sleep after that episode. We are in for a wild ride, you guys. Buckle up, because Genoa City is about to explode, and I am absolutely here for every single second of it.